Can I start?
Yep, and hey guys, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to run to the bathroom, but we're all good. Lobby's made, players are good to go. Let's get into Daybreak. I'm assuming everyone's here, not AFK.
Yeah, just going to double check that since they did say ready a little while ago. Snute has said he is good to go. Just waiting on Nerchio. Nerchio says GG. All right, good luck.
Good to go. Oh, Australians.
Good to go, mate.
Banana. That's all I got, man. That's all I can contribute to this conversation.
That's golden. That's great. That's actually fantastic.
Did I tell you the story about that, by the way?
I don't think so.
There's an Australian streamer named, I think it's just Minx. I don't know if you know her.
Oh yeah, COD streamer, yeah.
Yeah, pretty popular and all that.
Yep.
Did not know who she was, but was very drunk at TwitchCon and was talking to a beautiful girl with an Australian accent. So of course I'm in heaven. And she's like trying to teach me how to say banana like an Australian. So we spent like 15 minutes. And it was me totally drunk. Just learning to say banana.
You did it really well the first time. That time was
that
like
wasn't so good because I was already laughing.
Really,
I was laughing.
That was like a bad British impersonation, kind of like trying to be like posh or something. But
Pip.
The first one was actually really good, man.
I just gotta learn more than 2 words and I'll be set for life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a best of 5 finals for the Corsair Cup. Also, quick note, I did not know that they were doing this. I saw it on Twitter, so there's actually a 20% sale going on if you use their holiday code before tomorrow at noon Pacific, I believe. So if you want to know more about what I'm talking about, go to the Corsair Twitter, find out all the details. But if you guys want to buy any Corsair gear, do me a favor and use the links down below in the stream. It's how they know that you came from BaseTradeTV. And of course, the best thing you can do above all else is tweet us pictures of your Corsair gear, because we just love to see that stuff here on the channel. But to kick things off, here on the top right, it's going to be the Red Zerg player, Team Liquid's Snute. Oh.
And his opponent spawning down in the bottom left-hand side, our Blue Zerg, playing for Onyx Gaming. He is a Red Bull athlete. It is Nerchio.
And Nerchio is going for a third hatch. So quick.
Putting his big boy shoes on, and this is so smart. You know, Nerchio, you said it before, he's so good at abusing his opponent's weaknesses and their habits and taking advantage of them. Sorry, can you remind me what the key sequence to reset my camera is?
1 CE.
1 CE. I've got to memorize that. Thank you. I was on like a 70-degree angle there. That was really gross. But yeah, this is smart, right? You know Snute's going to go hatch first on this map. It's a long rush distance. Early pool kind of sucks here because it's so hard to sneak Zerglings across the map for a surprise attack. And the rush distance is so long. So Nerchio is like, yeah, I'll just go for a hatch first. Interestingly, Snute committing really deep with his Overlord here. That's interesting because this is going to tell him at this point, like, wait, why is there... I think this was a mistake from Snute.
Well, so what's interesting is by diving in this deep and seeing no queen still, he's got to know that the pool timing was delayed, right? Like
you'll find that out now because there should be a queen hitting him like right now.
Yeah.
But this has got to be a mistake. Or I guess maybe it's timed out perfectly so he would just barely get out of there if a queen was chasing him because he can get to high ground. Okay, maybe this is like a calculated Snute advanced scouting because Nerchio did it the way that 99% of Zergs do it. They go forward, they see the hatchery, they pull back instantly to the high ground so the Overlord doesn't take damage. But Snute there might actually have an idea of what's going on now. I'm not 100% sure if he's made the read yet, but he could have.
Well, I think I want to say that he did because Snute's a smart player and I give him the benefit of the doubt in this situation. Big thank you to Do You Even Dark Souls, new sub hype, joining us on the channel today. Glad to have you on board. But this out of Snute, like whether this was a great read or maybe a little bit of luck or maybe a bit of both, either way he's going to have to deal with a fight coming up. Nerchio's making 10 blocks of blue in the production tab right now, which is either Overlords or Lings, and I doubt you're making 10 Overlords at the 3-minute mark in the game.
Yeah, I just kind of hover my mouse up there when I'm wanting to see what the unit is because it does pop up with the name. But so Snute comes in, he sees exactly what he's up against, and this is a lot of Zerglings on the way for Nerchio. Zergling speed's about to kick in. They both have Baneling nests, but Nerchio is going to be the one taking the fight to Snute's side of the map. You'll notice Snute already starting a 4th queen, so he's really in a very defensive stance. The problem is right now he does not have creep towards his 3rd base. He does have a queen wedged in the minerals, so that's a nice beginning to his defense there.
Yeah, I think he knew how tight this was going to be. I mean, oh, the back Baneling almost caught the Lings out of Nerchio. That was so cool, but not quite enough. Now, Snoot's going to actually segment some Lings off to pick off Nerchio's Banelings. If he can trade out for these, that'll be fantastic. But that being said, Nerchio's still going to run past. The speed's going to be great for this instance. Baneling on the ramp catches all but one Zergling. Fantastic control out of Snute. That manual detonation was so important.
This is why I hate running into Snute on ladder, man. He's always so prepared for, like, you think you juke his army and there's 3 more Banelings all waiting and like on the top of ramps and behind mineral lines. It's insane how defensive he is. Well, so well played. I really got to emphasize too. Like, if that had been like an A move Baneling, it would have gone off on the first Ling saw and maybe killed like 3. Because he manually detonated, it killed so many more. It was so good to watch. Nerchio's following this up with Roaches, and he's still got more Ling pressure on the way, though. Snoot's up by 10 drones, and that's kind of cool, but he's really behind in the Roach game. And the Roach game can be really hard to catch up on. Lings, okay, you get one lucky Baneling hit and wash it all away. Roaches do not have that dynamic. Snute, he doesn't have any Banelings up here with these queens right now. Oh no, Snute, he's only got that one Baneling on the ramp, being a little bit greedy here. Nerchio. Oh, here come the Banelings. A little bit out of position. Finally coming in from behind. This is great for Nerchio, though, because this is distracting Snute. Notice that Snute behind this, you know, he's trying to get a lair. He's trying to tech up. Oh, the queen goes down as well. I really felt like the reason he could defend this Roach attack is the extra queens, but he just lost a lot of queen energy, a lot of those queens, and now he sees this attack coming across the map, but he's already started re-droning. He's going up to 64 drones versus 45. This is such a frightening attack from Nerchio.
Yo, another part of this too that makes this just even worse is the fact that normally you can get on top of the Roaches early if you've got your Lings left over, but he lost so many Lings, there's nothing to surround these.
Oh yeah, Nerchio not waiting at all, just going to use the power of aggression here, and basically playing the same way that has often been the downfall of Nerchio itself. Just overwhelming aggression. I mean, catching him off guard.
Let's remember, Snute can still lose about 20 drones if he can somehow hold his defense together, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. 21 drones are dead, and he doesn't look any better for it. The Roaches came down for the top of the ramp, block out a little bit. The Sim City is kind of cool to see, but ultimately, Snute just doesn't have the army to fight. The Roaches are coming out 2 at a time here and there, getting picked off in the natural as soon as they spawn. They're not even trading out for the Lings at this point. The Broodlings do anything to help, and this game is probably going to go in Nerchio's favor. It's starting to snowball just a little too hard.
The production is insane from Snute, but you called it there, Graham. Roaches popping out on top of Roaches, 1 or 2 at a time, trickling in from different hatcheries, not being microed because no one can micro 3 places at once perfectly. It's just an impossible situation for Snute. He just wasn't quite ready, a little bit too greedy there, and perfect play from Nerchio. He kept the fighting on Snute's side of the map. And as a result, forced out those mistakes. Snute wasn't scouting because he was too busy defending. And I really think the big mistake was not having those Banelings positioned quite well enough. And twice, Nerchio was able to dive in with Zerglings, do a bit of damage, distract him. And because Snute was so busy dealing with that, he wasn't scouting for the aggression. So great play from Nerchio and a really good way to open up a best of 5.
Oh, absolutely. Newkirk's going to be the next map, guys. We're going to take a small break while we make this, as it is the finals. We'll see you guys soon. All right, folks, thanks for giving us that little bit of a break. I had to fix some things with the stream, but they look to be all A-okay now. So that works out perfectly as we get into game number 2. Now, this is, once again, a best of 5 finals, not a best of 3. Thanks again to Corsair for making all this possible. I'm Rifkin Casting with Pig, and let's get into the intros. Bottom right side, we got the red Zerg player from Team Liquid. It's Snute. And before Pig does his intro, I just want to note that we have, on 3 different occasions, made little reminders to tell people to turn off the skins, and have on every occasion failed to do so.
That's right. Do it without the production tab. Spawning down here, it is Nerchio.
Alright, anyways, yeah, at this point I think you guys should be fully aware of what's going on, but just that little recap for anyone just joining in. The blue boxes in the production tab are just a bug that came with the most recent version of the patch. It's something I'm sure will get fixed pretty soon, but unfortunately, as it's Christmas holidays, we may not see it get fixed so soon. Either way, learn to deal with it because it's going to keep showing up. And luckily, it's none of the truly dynamic units in the game I feel get affected by this, but the Lings and the fact that there's blue box around Lings and a ZvZ, okay, I can understand where confusion might come into play.
Potentially. Potentially. Interestingly, Nerchio is opening up with a pool first, with a delayed gas this game.
I just want to back up for a second and go back to the last game, though. The fact that Nerchio is willing to go 3 hatch that quick against a player like Snute, it's not just ballsy, it's scary, and it's really risky. But that kind of is what I like about Nerchio. Like, he knows who he's up against. He sized him up, and he's not scared of Snute at all.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to play there, you know, saying I can get away with this risk. It'll give me a bit of a lava advantage. It'll make it a little bit easier for me to defend if I put the aggression onto your side of the map. And you know what's a great way to play Zerg vs Zerg? Don't focus on trying to defend and scout every piece of aggression, because the engagements are so fast-paced. It's so hard to both scout your opponent's follow-ups while defending. Defending is very hard. We saw Snute try to take that stance, made a mistake once or twice, and then suddenly he's out of the game. And this is something which has cost Nerchio games in the past. At IEM Shanghai, I always remember he got knocked out by Violet. It was a huge upset. No one expected it to happen because Nerchio really was, you know, he was leaps and bounds ahead of Violet at that time. And at the afterwards, you know, Nerchio was really annoyed. He was like, man, this is bloody Zerg versus Zerg. He's like, I hate it. I think I just need to play timing attacks from now on. And Violet was saying the same thing. He was interviewed afterwards, and Violet was like, yeah, you know, I think it's really hard to scout and defend all the time because, like, there's so many things that can hit you so fast in Legacy. Is like, I think it's easier to just attack. And if you play perfectly, you know, it's much easier because you're the one forcing mistakes from your opponent, and then you can just win games very easily. And this is something talking to a lot of pro gamers. They all seem to be in agreement that you can play defensive macro in Zerg vs Zerg, but it's a much higher skill ceiling. It's very easy to screw up and then lose the game. So interesting to see Nerchio starting out this series with that aggressive stance. I wonder if Snute's going to keep being defensive or change it up.
Yeah, and thank you, chat, for reminding me. I forgot about putting the actual +1 on the scoreboard. This is game 2 after all. And Nerchio took a very convincing game 1. So thank you. It's fixed. Sorry, stream delay and all that. But okay, as Snute pokes around at this hatchery, it's certainly annoying, but the queens can push this off. Yep. There's 10 more lings on the way for Nerchio, so he's not at all underestimating what Snute's doing, and I like this. If he were to get caught droning, he'd find himself in a pretty precarious situation. But with his own banelings and a decent amount of lings, I don't think he's going to have anything to worry about.
This is yet another map with a very short, quite a long rush distance between the players. Nerchio, interestingly, flanking around the Overlord vision with his Zerglings. That's something else. There's so much space to cover on this map. You can't really have full vision of the exits of your opponent's base.
But the problem is, like, okay, he sneaks around and gets away with the army, but he also takes it all away from the defense. So two banelings and a queen.
Banelings there, though. Good micro, and he gets the queen on Snute's side. Now, this is a great maneuver from Nerchio. Wow, just catches Snute with his pants down. No units at home. Snute has to run all the way home now. And this is huge damage. Keep in mind, Snute is still up 4 workers, even after losing 4. And he's got 7 more in production. But Nerchio behind this is massing Zerglings. He's going to follow up with a huge wave of aggression behind
Two banelings coming in with the stacked up drones. Doesn't quite get all the way in. Almost would have been devastating.
Good focus fire, though. The Zergling's just picking off a few low hit point drones there.
Yeah, he's diving in for that one that's almost dead as well. Takes the baneling hit just as good. Ling's still running in. 1 baneling remains. This is going to be the end of the aggression, but he's done quite a bit of damage to Snute through this.
A lot more Zerglings about to roll in, actually. I don't think Nerchio is done just yet. There's only Zerglings and banelings in that production tab. He knows he's just wrecked Snute's economy. He's lost so much mining time. I think Nerchio is not going to let up. I think he's just going to keep going right now.
I think he should. It's the right choice. We got 6 banelings just finished up. He splits them up too, so they don't all get caught by 2 banelings. As he runs into the natural base, Snute's going to have to start splitting once again. And he certainly can pull it off. Ling's diving to the bottom side. He's going to try and pick some of these off. Banelings don't need that many hits, so a lot of these drones low from earlier. And there's just chaos and death. Snute loses 10 workers.
Such a simple maneuver at the start of that game. Nerchio just saying, you know what, I got 3 queens out very early. I push your overlords back, and then I'm just going to defend with the 2 queens at the 3rd, 2 banelings protecting them, and run, what was it, like 8 Zerglings around the map? And those 8 Zerglings just completely pulled Snute apart.
I'm surprised. I was really worried. Like, Nerchio had done a really cool move in doing so. Oh, it's going to be Overgrowth next. Nerchio had done such a cool move in doing so, but I was worried that he had left himself too defenseless, right? Like, would those 2 queens and 2 banelings have been enough to stop Snute? If Snute never had to come back home, like, there's a lot of what-ifs, I think, for that game. But,
yeah, there's always that potential to run around the queens and the banelings, run into the natural. Nerchio was definitely playing kind of bare bones on the defense behind it, but worked out in the end. He knew that Snute would have to pull home for those Zerglings, so very nice play from Nerchio.
Let me ask you, Pete, did you ever play World of Warcraft by chance? Or similar types of games?
For like 1 month in vanilla, and that was it, basically.
Okay, you might not be able to relate to this. I'm going to pass you hosts. You can go whenever they're ready. I just did the equivalent of in World of Warcraft. If you go to inspect somebody, you can accidentally invite them to your group, and then you feel like, oh god, what have I done? And you like just log off Alt F4 and break your computer because you're just dying of embarrassment. I just did that with Nerchio. I invited him to a party twice instead of inviting him to the game. Like he declines the first, and I'm like, oops, I'll fix that. Then I didn't, and oh god, it felt terrible. It means nothing, and it's not
my party, Nerchio.
I know, right? It means nothing. It affects nothing, but it's just like, oh god. Oh god, I went for the hug when he was going for a handshake, you know. That's sort of... Okay, game number 3. This could be it. He's up 2 points, spawning on the bottom left side of the map. We've got the blue Zerg player coming from Poland. It's Nerchio.
He's got to be feeling good right now. Of course, his opponent up here having a tough time of it in the first 2 games. Already down 0-2 in about 15 minutes. It is Liquid Snute.
What kills me about this, though, is Snute has done good things in both the games he's lost, right? Game number 1 was a lot more highlightable, I feel, with the banlings always being all over the place. But this is what I like. This is the type of StarCraft 2 game where you get to highlight what they're both doing right, and you don't have to worry about, like, one guy just throwing the match entirely. Like, Snute's playing well, but Nerchio's playing better.
Yeah, this is just good play from Nerchio so far, and he's actually playing very safe here as well, whereas Snute's actually the one playing a little bit greedier now here in game number 3, 1 game from losing. Snute saying, I'm just comfortable going hatch gas pool, even here with, you know, quite a late pool. And Nerchio going to be going for that same opening as last game. So, I mean, this is kind of the volatility of Zerg vs. Zerg. A few small yet crucial mistakes early on in a best-of-5 series, and you're already so far down. So Snute, his real challenge is to not tighten up too much under the pressure and then start playing overly safe. The moment you start playing overly safe in Zerg vs. Zerg, you're dead. A lot of people say, oh, you know, you're down 2 games from early aggression. This is the point where you just defend, right? And you play super safe. It's like, actually, no, because you've got to win 3 games in a row in Zerg vs. Zerg. And the moment you swap into an overly defensive stance, remember, you're playing against another Zerg player. So you need to keep them in check. The moment you stop pressuring or putting on any sort of map control or pressure of any sort, your opponent can just make a billion drones, get way ahead. And Nerchio is the kind of player who isn't afraid to switch gears and do that. So Snute here has to try to balance his play. And already we do see a bit of paranoia here with a very fast spine crawler coming down for Snute. A little bit worried about the potential for an early spawning pool.
I mean, this thing is expensive. Now I'd use the drone. It's a bunch of minerals on top of it. A spine core is not something you want to have to make, so I like the cancel. We got
Seize the hatchery.
We got a fantastic resub coming in. 3 months out of Ting Jesse. I think I let a sub drop. Could you believe that, pig? Can you believe I let a sub drop at one point? Oh my god.
Oh
Anyways,
my god.
Ting Jesse and I have been cooking up a lot of plans, guys. We have got some seriously sick announcement for Ting Season 3 that you guys will not want to miss. I can't wait to get everything signed and dotted lined so we can talk about it, but big shouts to Jesse and chat.
Nice. I've loved the last couple of Ting opens myself.
Pig, you're gonna love this new one, man. We got some pretty big changes coming for it. I want to tell everybody everything right now. Okay, we got to move on or else I'm going to start getting in trouble.
Stop teasing, buddy. Stop teasing.
It's not even teasing you guys. It's like a tease for me because I will like get in potential legal trouble if I like spill the beans too early. I mean, you guys should know at this point we've talked about the fact that there's going to be a live finals for it. Like that's going to be cool.
Oh, awesome.
But there's more to it than that.
You haven't revealed the face tattoo yet, have you?
The Mike Tyson tattoo?
Yeah, Ting sponsoring Graham. You guys might not know.
Oh, yeah.
But he's going to get Ting just stamped across his forehead.
Yeah, well, no, it's going to look exactly like the Mike Tyson one over my face, but it's going to be, I'll say Ting instead of be straight lines. There's something wrong with your face, buddy. Okay.
Before Twitch is now going to demand this from you. Anyway, the action is starting to pick up a bit. Both players just skirmishing with very small numbers of Lingbane. Snute has been a bit greedier in the opening stages. Is content once again to play a little bit more defensively.
He's gonna lose an Overlord, which always feels bad. Actually, might get to the high ground just in the nick of time. No, it dies. Okay,
Feels
but
bad.
Snute coming across the map with legs is not exactly at an advantage. He does catch Nerchio having just made 7 drones. Roach Warren on the way, but Nerchio's now starting to turn on his own legs. And oh, Snute needs a bad bailing to start with.
And it looks like Snute here, his third base is about to finish. Nerchio's not far behind. Ooh, Nerchio once again hiding Zerglings on that right-hand side of the map. Zero defense except for the queens at home.
Oh,
Gonna
boy.
dive in there and may pick off some queens, maybe some drones. Good drone pull from Snute so far, but he's distracted and on the front does lose 7 or 8 Zerglings to those 2 banelings.
Oh, sweet. Shout to pick for the auto host.
Nice.
We're hosting us from the get-go. Okay,
it's all right. No one was watching from my channel anyway.
Well, so this feels really bad for Snute because, yeah, he lost. Like, I think this was the one game he's like, yes, finally, I'm on the offensive. I'm the one being aggressive, and then gets shut down because of the small attack out of Nerchio. And I think that's where the value for Nerchio comes in, right? Like, he's not sending a whole army across the map to screw with Snute. Both games, it's like a small amount of lings that starts turning it around. But Snute was a little bit faster to the trigger with roaches. We'll see if he can get anything done with this. The problem is, Nerchio's not exactly really that far behind, and Defender's advantage is massive when it's roach versus roach.
Yeah, I mean, actually, Snoot's kind of droning behind this, so this is like a light pressure. Snute has to just be careful to not overextend. There we go. Good. Turns around. Considering he was droning behind that, it would have made 0 sense to commit to that roach pressure. So turning around and pulling home, just trying to force more units out of Nerchio is a good choice. What Snute doesn't know, though, is what's going on Nerchio's side of the map. He doesn't know that there's no lair right now. He doesn't know that Nerchio is just planning a huge Ravager Roach Zergling all-in attack right now. Snoot's going for upgrades. He's going for lair. He's going for gases. Only now does he see this move out, and he goes, oh, hot damn. I'm supply blocked as well. I'm losing overlords to the Ravagers. Snute desperately needs to hang on against this attack. He is at half the army supply right now. Nerchio wants to close out this series 3-0. He wants to crush Snoot's dreams here. But I don't know. Snoot's going to try his best to hang on.
This army, though, I mean, unless he gets like the Baneling hit that washes away every single ling, I don't know if he can actually take on the Roaches and Ravagers. He will come on the backside with the Banelings and hit the Ravagers, however. It's not too bad over there, but now Nerchio's Banelings coming a little bit delayed, a little bit late. He's still got so much army to work with. His Snute should normally have some sort of defender's advantage, but it's like not gonna happen. The Roaches are coming a little too dispersed. The drones are pulled at the last second. Nice splits, but he's still gonna take some pretty nasty losses. Oh, he cancels all the reinforcements with the corrosive piles. Snute loses all those roaches that were about to spawn, that were about to try and save his life, but it's a little too far gone now. Nerchio is about to hit him with a 3-0.
This is that story we've been talking about, the power of aggression in Zerg vs. Zerg. Nerchio showing a masterclass of it, constantly keeping Snute occupied, constantly pulling his attention away with his sneaky counterattacks. Beautiful 3-0 victory for Nerchio. That was just impressive Zerg vs. Zerg, man.
Absolutely. Thank you very much to I'm Dopes, by the way, resubbed during the new subbed during the end of that game. But congratulations to Nerchio. So he's gonna be your first place Corsair Cup champion for the second last Corsair Cup of the year. Oh, guys, Corsair Cup's getting upgraded for next year. The announcements will probably be coming out in the next cup, the last one of the year, so we'll save it for that. No more teasing. We got so much cool stuff we're working on. Got a donation coming in here at the end of the stream. Whoa, what the fuck? Another $50. Let me just give you a dab for that one. Thank you so much. Funky Monkey 2012 says, I promised I would donate more as I never gave you a proper one. Just got back from work, and I'm hoping you'll be streaming a little while longer as BaseTradeTV is the best. Is Zombie Girl banned from BaseTrade after her drunken tirade? I mean, you guys don't even know the shit I've had to deal with Zombie getting drunk in real life, okay? What you've seen on stream is like nothing. Unfortunately, though, that is the end of the stream. Pig, I got a request for you, man. So you're gonna be starting up your stream, right?
I'm actually not. I'm feeling super crook.
Okay.
I've been sick for the last few days, and I was like, yeah, I think I'll stream after this. And now I'm just like, I'm going to the doctor as soon as we're done.
So okay,
I
gotta ask.
Pretty terrible.
Is there an appointment, or can you give me 15 more minutes of your time?
Oh, easy, 15 more minutes. There's no appointment. I'm literally just gonna walk down and be like, see me now. It's early in the morning here, so hopefully I can get in before there's a long line of people waiting.
I think what we should do is show people the Violent Night mutation with you, my friend, on the North American server. It'll take no time.
Yeah.
It'll be super
let's do
fun.
it.
All right, so guys, we're gonna go to a commercial break while we set this up. So you're gonna get a little bit of a bonus. This was a really fast finals, so let's be honest, it times out well, anyways. We'll play one of the new mutations here for you guys live. Normally I do this with Zombie Grub. I'll do it with Pig. It's actually, this week's is really fun, but also totally kind of like RNG. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Congratulations again to Nerchio. Thank you to Snute for playing, as well as Mana and Alive, all making the top 4 of today's tournament. And of course, make sure to check out our sponsors, Corsair. Without them, none of this would be possible. But we'll be back in a couple of minutes. See you guys soon.